you get chills when they announce your name or you score a goal and the place just erupts. You want to do that all over again. You wish you could relive that every moment. I just remember warming up and just hearing Messi chants coming from the tunnel. And then all of a sudden...
Welcome back, Logan Farrington, to the Young Athletic. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me again.
I'm super excited that you agreed to do this. You're living every young soccer player's dream, and I just wanted to hear how it's going so far.
It's a big jump up, but it is the dream, of course. There's always ups and downs to it. Like now, for example, we're away for a week and a half. Don't get to be at home, but we're in a very nice hotel in a new city every week, so no complaints.
Yeah, what's that travel like?
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of traveling. It is nice. We get a chartered plane for the team, so it's just us when we travel. But It's a lot of traveling. So even last month, we went from Seattle to New York to Cincinnati, all in the span of like 2 weeks. So it was a lot.
Wow. And the hotel accommodations been good so far?
Very good. No complaints at all.
No complaints.
Best hotels I've ever stayed in.
I noticed a couple of years ago when you first became a pro, you got to play against Messi and Alba and Busquets and Suarez and the crew from Barca.
Yes.
How was that experience?
That was a crazy experience for me. I remember I didn't start that game, but that was our first preseason actual game. That wasn't a scrimmage. And we were in the Cotton Bowl down in Dallas, and I just remember warming up and just hearing Messi chants coming from the tunnel. And the tunnel is long, so they were chanting for a while, a good 30 seconds to a minute. And then all of a sudden, their team walks out, led by those four. And it was like a starstruck moment where I'm just, wow, these guys are on the same field as I'm standing, or I'm on the same field as these guys are, So it was crazy, surreal feeling. And then it came to game time. I was on the pitch with them for about 10 minutes because I came on at halftime, and then they got off around 55, 60. So no tackles on them, but Busquets was guarding me a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool. It was a very cool experience.
I mean, those four walking out is iconic.
It's very iconic, yeah.
Did your other teammates kind of feel the same way, I bet?
I think some of the younger guys did.
Yeah.
The season before, actually, they played them at home in a playoff game. So that was, for them, I would assume, kind of what it was for me at that moment. So some of the older guys that have been there before didn't really affect them as much, but for especially my first home game ever, or first professional game ever, it was a big deal for me.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit of how you've grown over the last 2 years as a professional. You've put in all that time as a youth and college, and you finally made it. How are you still progressing?
Yeah, I think still progressing is a good way to put it. I think once you hit professional, a new journey begins. So you did all that hard work to get where I am today. I did all that hard work with the people around me that helped me get here, and you can't let that stop. So you can't just go from doing what you were doing to being successful to stopping that, because you'll fall off. So I think a couple of the biggest things I learned was just being able to adapt to anything. So for me, when I first got into the league, it was the speed of the game. I was a bit slower than everybody else. My awareness wasn't as good. And I relied on my ability to get me out of that in college and USL2. And in MLS, you can't do that. You have to adjust. You need to know where your teammates are. You need to know where the defenders are more than you did before. So that was a big jump for me. It took me a couple months to get really used to that. And getting my shots off quicker was a big one for me.
How did you get better at the awareness?
I think there's also stuff I did personally. So in training, I would really work on scanning more in every situation. I would scan when we're just doing a passing drill just to get used to the movements. And then when we're doing a possession drill or a scrimmage, I'll make sure I scan extra so I know. We also have VR headsets that you can use to practice scanning and
oh really?
Yeah. So we started using that this year, which I think those are helpful. They get a little boring after a while because it's repetitive, but I think the repetitive is good so you get the movements down.
Yeah. What would you say to some of the youth players that are just below this level? What do they need to do to continue improving and keep training on it?
Yeah, that's tough because it's not easy just to say one thing and this is going to work. But the biggest advice I would give is don't give up, and you need to just keep working hard and try and differentiate yourself. There's millions of kids playing soccer every year. what can you be doing differently? What makes you stand out? And sometimes that's staying after training for 30 minutes every time, or going for a run by yourself, or getting touches on the ball with your friends, which help you out of practice. You have to always be doing more. So I think doing a little bit extra every day is helpful.
When we first recorded a couple of years ago, I had a clip of you saying you had played against LAFC, and the defenders were bigger, faster, and stronger.
Yeah.
How have you bridged that gap since becoming a professional?
I think that's funny looking back, because I actually believe we played one of my current teammates now, Sebastian Ibiaga. I believe he was at LAFC at the time and played in that scrimmage. So it's kind of a full circle moment right there, which is kind of crazy. But I remember coming in last year and we had a couple preseason games. Miami, we played DC. And even in our own preseason, I was like, wow, like the physicality is very different. I was getting bullied a little bit, and I don't think I'm a small guy either. So
yeah, you're not.
I think it was a little, again, a wake up call, just as the awareness is. But we do gym work here. I did stuff on my own a lot that I think I've seen improvement over the last year and a half. And now I feel like I'm more of a presence that I can hold my own against almost any defender.
Yeah, getting pushed off the ball is a kind of a sign, you got to hit the weight room.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed that process of the weight room and getting stronger?
I'm not a big weight room guy. I prefer practicing with the ball at my feet, but I know it's part of the game. I know it's essential, and we have good staff here that help us a lot. They set up everything we need to do. They help us with technique and stuff like that. They give you plans if you want to do more. So it's been a good process. I've enjoyed it, but it's not something I love to go to the gym every day.
Some people love the gym.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I love the field. That's what I
love. What are some highlights from the last 2 years from being a professional?
Yeah, there's a lot. I'd say the first game last year, first game of the season, I actually played a full 90. And that was against San Jose. I remember like it was yesterday, just walking out to a packed stadium, and knowing I was starting the game and played the whole game. It was just like an incredible feeling. Like you see 20,000 people out there and they announce your name and they're cheering. Like that was a big one for me. Later in the year, scoring my first goal. It wasn't in a full stadium because it was Open Cup, so we were playing USL side. But that was very cool because that was the first time I saw the ball hit the back of the net in an actual game. Done it plenty of times in practice, so I was just waiting for that first one to fall. Took a couple months longer than I wished, but it finally came.
Was that like the half volley off the chest?
It was, off the free kick. Free kick. Got it off like my midsection. It was kind of it was an ugly touch, but it worked, and I just smashed it into the side netting. So that was my first one, and then my first MLS goal was probably one of my favorite memories. That was against Minnesota last year. That was one heck of a game for me as well. I had a goal, an assist, and a penalty given away. So that feeling was incredible because that was a full stadium for us. You score, and then you just go over to the fans and your team's like, it's just a adrenaline rush that you can't forget.
What's it like 20,000 people cheering for you or cheering against you?
I've been fortunate that I haven't had a whole stadium booing me or cheering against me. Maybe some boos here and there by away fans, but nothing crazy. But home games are different. Yeah. Right now, it's a little difficult because half our stadium's tarped off with construction, but we still get around 11, 12,000. And when they're in full voice, it's hard to explain. Like you get chills when they announce your name or you score a goal, and the place just erupts. Like it's like you want to do that all over again. You wish you could relive that every moment. So
it's a feeling of uplift, right?
It's like a high that you can't that nothing else like can replace.
Kind of like a rock star on stage.
Yeah.
What have been some you're on the road right now. Yeah. What are some favorite like away places, away trips, away stadiums?
Yeah, that's a good question. We've been to so many around the country in the last year and a half. I would say my favorite cities and favorite place to play are different. I think Seattle is one of my favorite cities to be. Just incredible city because we get time, we walk around, get to explore a bit. Seattle's one of them. New York was pretty cool. Went to Times Square, so that was awesome. Seattle and New York, probably my two favorites. We didn't really get to explore a lot in Miami. I wish maybe a little bit more time there. Stadiums wise, though, Cincinnati has the best stadium by far. the atmosphere they had there, the field, the actual stadium was amazing. And New York Red Bulls, I think, had an incredible stadium that I really liked as well.
Was it the pitch? Was it the stands? What was
Everything.
it about New York?
Those two stadiums, they're very similar. They're kind of similar. They're very enclosed. Mm-hmm. So if you look at some MLS stadiums, they have like 4 big stands and the corners are open.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati and Red Bulls both have fully enclosed like seating around all corners.
Yeah.
The fields are nice. Like almost every field in the league is going to be nice. It's a professional field, but just like little differences that I think make them a little bit nicer.
What's it like traveling with the team? You know, you've got roommates, you've got friends and teammates that you've gotten to know over the years.
Yeah. I enjoy it a lot. I mean, you get paid to travel around the country and play the game of soccer with guys who become your friends. So there's some guys here from last year, which is nice. So you've been able to create bonds with them. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, we've been more successful on away days. And I think that is because of the bonds we create and the time we spend together. So from the moment you get on that bus, you're with your teammates for the next 48 hours at least, you know? So this time for us, it's like a whole week. So you never have any privacy, which, you know, you get used to not having it, you know, for a week. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a change. But
who's the best hang or best couple of hangs?
I got to say my best friend on the team is Petar Musa.
Oh yeah.
Which is surprising. I would have never thought that when he first got signed, because big $10 million striker. He's my competition in a sense, but just an incredible guy. We've created a very good relationship and we're roommates now. So we spend a lot of time together, do a lot of activities. Like he's probably the guy I spend the most time with. And then also some of the younger guys I spend some time with as well.
Has he taught you more about striking that you didn't know before?
Yes. I think learning from him, just kind of seeing how he is a striker, because I know he's played at Benfica, which huge European club. He's been around the European football scene more. So anytime he tells me something or anytime I'm able to watch him in a game or watch him in training, I kind of see what he does differently from myself. And if I think that is something that can help me, I'll try to implement that into my game.
Yeah. Tell us more about who you've learned the most from. I know you've got a whole staff of coaches. Yeah. One of them came over and said hi before.
Yeah. I said, shout out Matt. Since he came by. I mean, everybody's here to help. I think the staff have been good. If you want to do extra, most of the time they'll let you. Some days they don't because of the load, which is frustrating, but I understand why. But no, they're always helpful. They're more helpful, I feel like, in a tactical sense and as like a positional role. So if you need to be here, you should be making this run when this player has the ball or when they have this type of space. So I think tactical and positional is more the coaches. And I think players, like learning from Petar, is more for individual, like positional play. So striker play, if you strike the ball this way or you move like this in the box. So for strikers, it's from him. But we had a player last year, Asier Yaramendi, played Champions League winner, played with Real Madrid when they were in their prime. Incredible guy.
Like the 16, 17 era?
Yeah. I think he was a little bit before, actually, 13, 14, around there. But there's pictures with him, with Modric, and trained with Ronaldo, Bale, all those guys. So incredible knowledge on him. Super nice guy. And he was just a very intellectual player. Like he was very smart. So even the coaches were talking to him all the time about what they could do or what the team needs. And listening to him just sometimes was like, wow, that's a new perspective that I've never heard before, but it's from the highest level. So I know it's a good perspective.
Is there a difference between like the European players that come here and the way they understand the game versus the American players like yourself that have gone through the process here?
I think yes and no. Because I think European style is definitely different, but when they come here, it's also a different style. So they have to adjust to the style that we're playing because obviously we're not European teams. We're not going to flip overnight just because a couple players come from Europe. So I think, yes, some places, I couldn't even give you the exact ways they think differently. Maybe just different.
But I'm sure they do.
Yeah, just different ways they're used to. Maybe they're used to playing with different players or different types of players. But we have the same thing with South American guys. They play a different style in South America and they bring that up here. And that's definitely different to what I'm used to. And I'm sure what some of the European guys are used to.
Do they bring, some of their culture, some of the
of course,
fun things about
it? Of course, you see these guys. We have so many languages in the locker room. You have the way people dress, the way people talk, the music that we listen to in the locker room every day. It's usually the South American guys, so you get that kind of culture. But it's nice. It's like a melting pot where everybody comes together. We're all serious on the field, but off the field, we're allowed to learn about each other and have fun together.
How are the team dynamics this year versus last year?
Yeah, I think it's been a big difference this year from last year. Last year, I think there was a bigger age gap, and there were more like cliques, I would say. There's people who would hang out with these people who hang out with this people, and that's always going to happen no matter what team. But I think last year that was more, that was easier to see. Where this year, I feel like the locker room has been a bit more together. We have a couple, I would say, more younger guys this year, so the age gaps aren't as different, which can be good and bad. You lose that experience, but you gain that in relationships and the team bonding. So it's different, but I think this year it's been a little bit nicer to get to know everybody in the locker room. Like you talk to everybody, you're able to hang out with everybody, where last year I felt like that maybe wasn't the case.
Let's talk about a little bit about Dallas. You've been, you're from Wisconsin. You spent a little time in California and Oregon, and now you're living in Texas.
Yeah.
How's that change?
I love Texas.
Yeah.
The biggest downside is the heat. And last year that was a big wake up call. Started in May last year. It's 95 plus every day.
Yeah.
Trainings are hot. And then when you come home, it's even hotter. And when you get into your car, and you really can't do a lot outside. So that was a big adjustment last year. But this year it's been more mild, 90s, but for me now that I've adjusted to it, it's a bit easier. But overall, Dallas is amazing. We're not in central Dallas. We're in North Dallas in Frisco, which is incredible community, very safe. People are moving there every couple months. It's growing. I've seen it grow in just the short time I've been there. Construction is going on. It's booming. It's a great place to be. There's great food. There's great people. There's not a lot of free stuff to do, which I think is the one downside. There's not like a lot of nature stuff, but there's a lot of activities that you can do that you can pay for and stuff like that. So,
do you ever get like invited to like a Cowboys game or another pro team in the area?
There's Cowboys games, there's Mavericks games, and there's Stars games and Rangers games. So there's the 4 other sports. We have ways you can go through the club. I know some guys are more into it than others. So like our goalkeeper, Martin Paz, he's a super social guy. He loves to go to other sports games. He's a big Mavericks fan. So he gets to go to the Maverick games a lot, meet some of their players, and they meet with us. I've been to one Mavericks game. I want to go to more this year. So hopefully when the season starts, go see a couple of the games. But yeah, it does happen where we swap some shirts and stuff like that.
What's special about the FC Dallas team? Not just, the Dallas city, but the team itself.
Yeah. One thing I think is, how they implement their academy. So we have academy guys training with us almost every day. Even if it's just 1 or 2 to maybe 6 or 7 if we need the numbers on a specific day. And that goes from all the way from the second team up to the first team down to the academy levels, the U16, 17, 18 guys, where they have a chance to progress through the club, which is ideally as a younger player exactly what you want. I wish at 16 I had the chance to play with a MLS team. Like, you're learning a lot, even if you struggle, you're still ahead of the curve. You're learning a lot. So I'd say implementing younger guys is a big thing that I think they do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, at Fusion, we have some academy players playing for the USL2 team right now, and they're cooking. Yeah. They're doing a great job. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah,
always want to promote the youth,
of course, and it's great experience for them. And I think it's a good thing when they can hang with the group. I think if there's younger guys who aren't quite at that level, it's good to maybe train. But when they start getting into games, other players see that they're maybe not at that level. But I think that's where that adjustment comes in training. And I think Dallas does that well. I know we did that in Fusion when I was there. There was some guys training with us that was like the academy guys. And I think that's good. You can never lose that identity as a club.
What's the professional training environment compared to a college training environment?
I would say it's different because I've been to a couple different colleges, and my first college compared to Oregon State was very different. I would say Oregon State is very similar to what we do at pro, just on different levels. So I would say the pro level is just a step up, but at Oregon State, we did all the foundations pretty similar. We watch film, we do position-specific training, we do tactical training, we do playing, we do load management, stuff like that. We do recovery together. So I would say Oregon State did a very, very good job of creating a pro environment where when I got here, that it wasn't a huge shock to me. That wasn't the biggest change.
What surprised you becoming a pro? What's something you weren't expecting that either turned out well or was just, a challenge?
I would say maybe I expected a little bit was the fans. Someone was always wanting your autograph, and I love that. I think that's amazing because I remember I have core memories from doing that to professional games I was at, and I still remember when a player stopped and took a picture with me. So if I can give that to as many kids as I can, give that feeling and that experience to make them love the game more than they already do, then that just makes me really happy that I'm in a position to do that.
Yeah, I bet it's a special feeling to help others in that way.
It is. And the smile on their faces when you sign their jersey and they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Like, I just love that. It makes me feel so good.
Yeah. I know we talked about this a little bit before, but what do you say to, the dreamers right now that want to be in your spot? How do they get to be the next Logan Farrington?
I would say my story is special. I have a unique story compared to a lot of the professionals today where they're going up through academies. So I think I'm one of the last guys to go the college path. And especially coming from Wisconsin, I think it is even more difficult with no MLS team there. So I think it's already an inspiration for other kids that maybe come from a similar situation to me where they think, oh, I'm not in an MLS academy. Like, I'm never going to make it. Well, there's always a chance. I would say don't give up, like I said earlier. And sometimes you need luck. So I had a lot of luck with USL 2. Ventura Fusion was a big help to me. If I never went there, who knows what would happen? I might not have transferred. I might not have had the exposure I would have had, and maybe coaches wouldn't have seen me. So you need to be in the right time, in the right place. But also you need to be ready for your opportunity. So when that luck comes around to you, you need to take it. You need to take your chance.
That's what luck is when you're prepared for the opportunity.
Exactly.
Because opportunities are around. And like even the transfer portal, that rule change where you don't have to sit out a year.
Yeah, that was big. That was big for me because before I was a little, you're worried. You don't really want to transfer, but that came in at the right time for me after playing in USL 2 and being successful, which gave me the confidence to transfer to a bigger school.
Yeah. And it's blossomed into a great professional career and hopefully many more years to come and more goals.
Just the start. That's the hope.
All right. Well, I've been speaking with Logan Farrington of FC Dallas. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
Not a lot coming to mind. Just good luck, Fusion. I've been watching behind the scenes. Don't worry.
We had a good win the other night. Yeah.
3-2, right? Extra time.
It was down 2-0 in the first two.
I saw. And I was keeping up with it, watched the highlights back. I wasn't able to watch the whole game that time, but I still have friends on the team, still talking to former coach Mike and some of my best friends from that team. So always watching. They always bring it up. I'm glad you guys have a good circle. We do. I mean, it's like a family at Fusion. So never forget those summers together, but also you still connect with guys across the country now that are all doing their own thing. So it's really cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me some time before game day.
Of course.
Good luck tonight.
Yeah. Thank you very much.